Well, hello. Today we are examining what the Quran says about Mary being pregnant with the baby Jesus. And right here we're looking at 4:156 out of the Quran. And we're going to go to this lower one here because this makes a pretty big statement here. Um, it says, and because of the Jews' disbelief and uttering against Maryam, okay, or Mary, a grave false charge that she had committed illegal sexual intercourse. Okay, let's go down here and look at another one. Um, let's do this one. So they rejected their faith, and that they uttered against Mary a grave false charge. And what the Quran is saying is that the Israelites were, or the Jews were, uttering things against Mary. Um, the only reason why we know that Mary is pregnant is because the Bible tells us so. And there was only one other person that knew that Mary was pregnant, and that was Joseph. And, he started to panic, and God came down to him in a vision and told him that he had nothing to worry about. Okay? And, you know as well as I do that Mary, it was a virgin birth. Okay, so the only reason why we have any of this information at all is because the Bible tells us. It wasn't something that anybody knew about, because if they did, they would have killed her. My interest is these two verses right here, 4:157 and 4:158. And this is basically saying more trouble is coming to the Jews because they were saying that they boasted that they killed the Messiah. Well, the Jews are not going to be boasting about killing the Messiah or the Christ, which is the same thing, because they're waiting. They've been waiting for the Messiah, so they're not going to come out and start bragging about the fact that they killed the Messiah. And the term Messiah, that's for one person. That's not. This is not a multiple person kind of thing here. This is a one-shot deal. And so they're not going to go out there and they're going to brag about killing the Messiah. At the bottom here it says, "For surely they killed him not." Okay? And the very next verse, "But," okay? You see how that's connected? "But Allah raised him up unto himself." And then if you read in the parentheses, "But Allah raised him," Jesus, "up with his body and soul unto himself." So in 4:158, we're talking about a miraculous miracle here. If God came down and snatched Jesus in front of all those people and brought him up to the heavens. So it says it right here. It says, "For surely they killed him not, but Allah raised him up unto himself." So this all happened right here in the now. 1, 2, 3, done. Was done. Okay. So anyway, the Jews are in trouble for killing their prophets and rejecting all of the prophets and all the miracles and everything that these prophets had brought with them through the years. And so they're in trouble for that, right? And you come down here and they're in trouble because they've been talking smack behind Mary, um, that she committed an illegal sexual intercourse. Okay, um, we only know this because the Bible told us that Mary was pregnant. No one else knew it except for Joseph. Okay, and here's one swing. Here's another swing at the mother of Jesus. Okay, and then we got another swing right here where Jesus is not killed. Okay, and then below that we have this where Jesus is going to be a witness against them. So it's just, it's like four strikes in a row here. Um, the Jews are in trouble for killing their prophets. You come down here, Mary is getting bashed by the Jews by, having illegal sexual intercourse, and the Jews didn't even know about this. Okay, but it's just a bash against the mother of Jesus, right? And then we step into here, we deny Christ died. Okay, and then we come down here, and now all Christians are in trouble for believing the fact that Christ died. This is kind of interesting here. I was looking for Shaitan, and I came up with these verses here. And you can see that we destroyed no township, but it had its warners. Okay, so warners, I guess it had warning, but we've destroyed nothing, right? And this one here said, no destruction. Right here, we've never killed a population. It had some warnings, right? It had warnings, but we never destroyed any population. This one here, also, again, we did not destroy any town. But the very last one, and in no way did we cause town to perish. I guess I had to put any in there because they were missing that, because it doesn't read right. And in no way did we cause town to perish, except that it had warners. Except. Okay, so now we're destroying towns. Okay, the top four, we're not. The last one here, we are. Kind of interesting. Okay, so then we come down here, and this is another way of spelling Shaitan. This one is Shay-Atin. So now we got a Shay-Atin. What's interesting about this one is we're talking about the Quran. So, and it is not the Shayatin who have brought it down. Why would anybody even be saying this? Because, it's pretty obvious that, if it's a holy book, you wouldn't have to make these statements like this. But it's kind of interesting that that's in there. Neither would it suit them, nor they can. It is not meat for them. It is not meat for them, nor is it their power. It would neither suit them, nor would they be able to produce it. So they're talking about creating the Quran, and okay, now they're talking about hearing it. They have been removed far from hearing it. They are banished from hearing. They've been removed far of even a chance of hearing it. They've been removed from hearing it. Um, they've been kept apart from hearing it, and that's the Quran. Okay, so the devils or the Shaitan did not bring it down. Okay, nor can they produce it, nor can they hear it. And they've been removed far from even a chance of hearing it. And here's a statement again here. If mankind and the jinns were together to produce the like of this Quran, they could not produce the like thereof, even if they helped one another. This is a pretty bold statement. And I mean, as I've been pointing out, a lot of the stories that have been put in the Quran, that have been, recited, are missing characters. Like the story of Adam and Eve is missing Eve, the name, Eve's name. It's missing her son's names. So right there, without help, I could actually sit down and actually write that portion better. Okay, see, we're always talking about stories because that's what I searched for. I just wanted to get in here and show you. Here we go. Recite the story of Noah. Okay, so without further ado, let's get in here. And here's 342. And remember when the angel said, "O Maryam, Mary, verily Allah has chosen you, purified you from polytheism and disbelief." Um, Mary didn't believe in polytheism. She was Jewish, and just like all the rest of the Jews, they are pretty much under, one God, the God of Abraham and Moses. So that's kind of an interesting little bit there. It's kind of an add-on, I guess. Here's what I originally started looking into is Maryam. There's several Marys in the Bible, and there is a Maryam, but that is the older sister of Moses. And what we got here is, it comes from this story. Maryam is right here in the bushes, and she has put her little brother uh, in a basket on the Nile, and the Egyptians find baby Moses. Okay. So anyway, we have the Pharaoh here. He's killing all the Hebrew babies in the area, all the males, and Moses' mother is greatly worried about her son's fate. Okay. And so then it goes in and says the Quran specifies that God inspired her to take an unlikely action. Okay. And it says right here, here's the unlikely action, is casting him into the river. Okay. That's a little harsh, considering that we actually have a little basket that he was probably put in. Well, he was put in because the Quran is reciting stories from from the Torah and the Bible. So I have a little bit of an issue with that. But let's just continue here. And Moses' sister had kept watch on the progress of her brother across the river. So it's clearly obvious that the kid's floating somehow. Okay. Um, he's obviously, he's not underwater. So this comes back and verifies, the the thought of a basket rather than just um, casting him into the river here. So anyway, you got Moses' sister. Um, Apparently, the Quran does not know her name. That's Maryam. Moses' sister's name was Maryam, and she kept watch on her brother across the river, right? And okay, well, the Torah maintains the Pharaoh's daughter adopted Moses. The Quran differs, in fact, and says that the Pharaoh's wife insisted that they adopt him. Um, you know, I'm not going to really pick at that. Um, if the Quran wants to say that the Pharaoh, who is killing all these babies, wants to adopt Moses, um, I guess the Quran can say that. Um, okay, and then here's the rest of the story. When Moses was hungry and he refused to nurse from any of the foster mothers provided for him, okay, Moses' sister, Maryam, uh, posing as a bystander, and suggested that she could bring someone that would be successful in feeding baby Moses. So, anyway, of course, Moses readily nursed from her, and they were rejoined. Okay?